Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. It is Flour It Up Friday and I have been craving gingerbread for about 2 or 3 weeks. And I was like, you know what? Why deprive myself? Tonight I am going to make gingerbread. So I gathered up all my ingredients and I'm going to show you how I make my gingerbread. It is quick and easy, probably about 15 minutes of prep and stirring, and it goes into the oven and it's ready in about 45 minutes to an hour depending on your oven. And I'm going to show you how to make it right now. So I've gathered up all my ingredients and my little helpers have come to help me and taste test, of course, the most important part. So here are all my ingredients. I have ginger, I have cinnamon, and cloves. Those is the 3 spices that it calls for, but I put in cardamom, allspice, and a little bit of nutmeg. So I have baking soda, and I'm going to use an egg replacer instead of a regular egg. And then I have flour and my sugar. So the most important thing in gingerbread is the molasses. I almost forgot. Yep, so I got my molasses out. And I also forgot my butter, so let me get that as well. So before I do anything else, I'm going to mix up my egg replacer, and I'm just doing it from the back of the package. I need 1 egg, so 1 tablespoon of egg replacer powder to 2 tablespoons of water. Mix it up and set it aside for a minute. My egg replacer is congealing and doing its thing. I've measured out my dry ingredients, so my flour, my salt, all my spices, and I'm just gonna thoroughly mix them through into my flour so that evenly distributed throughout. And it wouldn't be a family baking project without a mess. This is not too bad, but mess nonetheless. So into my mixing bowl of my stand mixer, I'm going to pour my sugar, and I'll put the recipe with all the measurements and everything in the description box below. And I'm going to add in my softened butter, and I'm gonna mix these two, cream these two together, and you will see and kind of know when it's done. It will be a sort of paler yellow color. So it's going from this darker yellow color to a really pale yellow, and then you'll know it's creamed. So here it is. I've scraped it down a couple of times midway through, and it's a pale yellow, and this is my egg ready to go in. See how it firmed up? So that way I know it's ready to go in, and I'm just gonna mix this together just a little bit just to distribute that egg throughout before I add in my next ingredient. So I've got my egg evenly distributed throughout the creamed butter and sugar, and I'm going to add my molasses next. Now I will show you a trick to getting the molasses out of your jar if you have any left, because remember I had 2 because there wasn't enough left in the last one that was open, so I had to open a new one, or in your measuring cup, whatever you're going to use. So it calls for a cup of hot water, so I pour that right in my measuring cup, and that pretty much takes care of the measuring cup. So I'm going to pour most of that into my batter, and I'm just going to pour that in here. And then I'm going to take the little bit of hot water I have left and clean out my jar with it. Depending on what jar I'm trying to clean out, I usually just swirl it around like this and clean it out. But because this is molasses and it's sticking to the jar, I put the top on it. And you want to be very careful when doing this because that's hot water and you're capping it with that top. So it could not really explode, but kind of be forceful when you go to take the top off. So just be careful if you're doing this to clean out that jar. And this is what it looks like after I've got that hot water out of it. It's nice and clean and I've got everything in. So I thought I was recording, and I actually put all my flour in and I didn't show it. Sorry about that, but yeah, so it's in already. So you put it in a pan, it's a loaf pan, and you grease it and flour it so it doesn't stick. So you just pour in your gingerbread mixture, and I'm doing it the wrong way around, so I'm gonna stop in 2 seconds and do it the right way because I'm right-handed and I want to hold the bowl in my left hand. So into a 350 degree oven for an hour. Now if your oven runs hot like mine, you might want to reduce the temp or reduce the time. I usually just reduce the time, maybe like 5-10 minutes or so. And it all depends on your oven. So once it comes out, I will show you what it looks like. So those glass jars that the molasses comes in, don't throw them away. You can reuse them with so many different things. Here I have basil in one. I put my spices in it that I sit beside my stove that I use for cooking. And here is the gingerbread out of the oven. I like mine with butter. I cut it earlier than I probably should have, but that's okay. Let it cool about an hour or so and then serve it. I'm going to serve this after dinner, but I just had to have a little piece before dinner and it is delicious. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and click that notification bell to be notified when I upload videos.